Rochefort, France, 1828. A young man, thin, with a face burned by the sun of distant lands, is preparing to do something that dozens of Europeans before him had tried and failed to survive. His name is René Caillié. He has no army behind him, no trading company to finance his journey. He has only one goal, to cross the Sahara and reach Timbuktu, the city that all of Europe calls the Golden Mirage. At that time, the Sahara was not just a desert, it was a border between worlds. In the north stood the European powers, obsessed with trade and prestige. In the south were West African kingdoms, Islamic scholars, traders of salt and gold, and ancient cities that did not want to become exotic trophies. Timbuktu was already famous in Europe because of earlier travel stories, but no European had returned alive with solid proof. The French Geographical Society even offered a reward to anyone who could reach the city and come back. Caillié was not born into privilege. He was born in 1799 into a poor family and became an orphan at a young age. He had no university education, but he had something stronger than privilege, determination, and imagination. As a child, he read about Mungo Park, the Scottish explorer who disappeared in West Africa. Those stories changed him. While others dreamed of a stable life, he dreamed of a horizon without end. Before leaving for the Sahara, Caillié spent years preparing. He learned Arabic. He studied the Quran. He spent time in Senegal. He understood something many Europeans refused to accept. If he arrived in Timbuktu openly as a Frenchman, he would almost certainly be killed. The city was a center of trade and religion, and it was deeply suspicious of foreigners. To survive, Caillié decided to present himself as a Muslim. He took the name Abdallah. He claimed he had been born in Egypt and kidnapped by Christians. This was not just a disguise. It was a complete transformation. He had to speak, pray, and behave like someone raised in a different world. One mistake could mean death. Imagine living in constant fear of your own pronunciation. One wrong word, one wrong gesture, and your life ends in the sand. In 1827, Caillié left the coast of West Africa and moved inland. He traveled on foot, sometimes with caravans, sometimes alone. He suffered from scurvy. He ate very little. He drank dirty water, and sandstorms could bury him within minutes. The Sahara does not kill in dramatic ways. It kills slowly, through dehydration, through exhaustion. Caravans crossing the desert relied on old routes and wells known only to the local Tuareg. The Tuareg were a nomadic people who controlled parts of the trade routes. Without their acceptance, crossing the desert was almost impossible. Caillié did not command. He followed. He did not decide the direction. He adapted. This was very different from other European expeditions that arrived with a sense of superiority. His survival depended on remaining unnoticed. After months of exhausting travel, in April 1828, he reached Timbuktu. The moment that Europe imagined as grand was in fact quiet. The city did not shine with gold. There were no piles of treasure in the streets. Timbuktu was poor and dusty. Its political glory days were already past. Trade continued, but its fame had been exaggerated. Europe had built a myth. The reality was different. The city was an important center of Islamic learning, with mosques and manuscripts. But it was not the fantastic city of legend. Caillié observed carefully. He did not describe dramatic scenes. He recorded details, the mud architecture, the daily life of the people, the busy market. Still, he could not stay long. His presence was dangerous. After about 2 weeks, he left Timbuktu and headed toward Morocco, crossing the Sahara again, this time northward. It was perhaps even more dangerous. His body was weak and suspicion around him increased. Along the way, he witnessed tensions inside the caravans, hunger and fear that made people distrust any stranger. He had to prove his faith again and again. After months of travel, he reached Moroccan cities where control was stricter and authorities carefully questioned travelers. He had to maintain his false identity until the very end. Only when he arrived in Tangier and found a way to contact European representatives did the mask finally fall. But after everything he had survived, something even more uncomfortable awaited him: doubt. In France, many questioned whether he had truly reached Timbuktu. In 1828, René Caillié returned to France. In Paris, he was called before the members of the French Geographical Society, scholars, officers, and administrators, men who had never crossed a desert, now held the power to decide whether his story was true. They questioned him in detail. They asked about the streets of Timbuktu, the mosques, the trade, the route. They searched for contradictions. They searched for mistakes, because before him, others had claimed to travel far and had failed to prove it. Caillié did not tell romantic stories. He spoke in a dry and detailed way, almost plain, and it was exactly this plain style that convinced many skeptics. His descriptions matched known Islamic sources and trade information from the region. After months of analysis, the society recognized his achievement and awarded him the promised prize of 10,000 francs. His travel account created strong interest. Europe celebrated. But fame did not last long. The prize did not make him rich. He settled in France, married, and tried to live a quiet life. The state did not give him a high position, and he lacked steady financial support. Over time, public interest in his name faded. New expeditions, new crises, and new ambitions replaced him. Caillié died in 1838, at only 38 years old, without great wealth and without becoming a national symbol. Even so, for France, his journey was a scientific triumph. For Caillié, it was personal proof that a poor boy could change his destiny. And for West Africa, it marked another step towards stronger European interest, which would later grow into colonial expansion. How exactly that process unfolded, and whether it happened without resistance, is a story for the next episodes. Today, when we can see the Sahara from satellites, when maps are precise, and when travel can be planned digitally, it is easy to forget what true uncertainty once meant. This story is not just about courage. It is about the thin line between curiosity and ambition on one side, and danger and the unknown on the other. To risk everything in devotion to an idea, to a dream you truly believe in, that is the example Caillié left behind, and one we should still follow today.